Good morning and welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kass. It's been a while since we were on this set. We are taking a break for some time due to the COVID restrictions, but we are back. The show must go on, even if it continues sometimes virtually. To join me for the start after this very long break is Pan-African Forum Chairman, Dr. David Matsanga. Karibu sana, Daktari.
Asante sana. Thank you very much in Nairobi. Thank you very much in Kenya. Thank you very much in Africa this morning.
Good morning. Glad to have you here and really appreciate you getting up quite early to be on this show today.
Thank you very much. At least London is open a bit, but it will be fully open on 21st of June. But bars were only opened last week. Supermarkets, specific supermarkets. You people in Kenya, like some supermarkets are open, you go to any, but in London, specified supermarkets where SOPs are followed. But now things are, yes, the waves seem to have gone out. They have actually vaccinated almost 3/4 of the population. They are left with a quarter or so. The situation is becoming manageable unless there is another variant.
Let's
can come.
Yeah, let's start from that point of COVID and how we are handling things. There have been, especially with the African outlook, and I know you keep a lot of contact and focus on what is happening in Africa. There's been a lot of focus on African nations, not just Kenya, that the COVID restrictions are really killing our businesses. And unlike the Europeans, for example, who may largely afford to be able to keep their citizens, quite comfortable during lockdowns, it has been quite an impossible task for African governments to do so because, of our third world country status. And of course, being the fact that not many of us are working anyway, and many of us are not able to make means for our eating because we're living mostly hand to mouth on less than $1 a day. So for African governments, the approach has been largely to impose curfews like the way we see in Kenya at night, and also to give out very tough regulations that are not really followed on the ground. Do you think that much more could have been done? Is this maybe, as I'm saying, is it our way of living? Is it a stumbling block to keeping Corona at bay? Or are we okay, given the fact that we have all these challenges? Are we doing okay?
Yeah. First of all, let me thank your viewers and the people of Kenya for having been handled. And I want to thank the President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Minister of Health, for having handled with steadfastness and tenacity the issue of the pandemic. You have done so well in that region. You have done extremely very, very well, given that you took your own, model of how to contain the disease. Uganda took its own model on how to contain the disease. Other countries in the region took their own models, but the Kenyan model seemed to be realistic. It comes, if we keep the SOPs at that pace, be strict, wash your hands, wear your mask, keep a distance, and don't move unnecessarily, Kenya will come out of this with very little, damage. But the economy, of course, as you talk, Kenya, and like any other African country, people who are criticizing President Uhuru Kenyatta about the economy, the East African countries have the same problems. African countries, third world countries, Brazil, which actually lends us some money and sends us goods, is under siege. India today is under siege because the rate of death in India is alarming. So when you look at all those and compare and do a comparative analysis, Africa has done so well, Kenya has done so well. Keep it up, manage it, be strict, have discipline, you will get the results.
About economically speaking, as a political strategist yourself and a governance expert, where do you think this will leave us in terms of the economic aspect post-corona, especially for our countries? You could see, like, for example, in Kenya, this particular month, fuel was supposed to go up. There was already a hue and cry. The government has tried to absorb the 5 shillings that was going to go up, but that situation may become untenable in the short future if the barrel remains quite expensive coming out of the Arabian continent. So is this sustainable, or are we is it a bubble waiting to burst economically?
We are going to have an economic turmoil. There is no country in the world which will not have an economic turmoil. Whether Britain, America, China, whatever. China might have the money, but where will you sell those goods? The people don't have the money. Where will you sell? The economy of the world depends on the prices of the commodities called oil, the black gold. If the prices go low, the economy picks up out of the good prices and it works. Management of an economy at this hour is the most important thing that any country must do. President Uhuru Kenyatta has tried his level best. There is no way you can't avoid. Even in United States, Britain, where I am, they are borrowing money in order to sustain some things quietly. The only difference we have is that Britain has got its social contract, social structures that help them. You can't see the difficulties, but they are seen, they are available, they are within the format. So when you talk about all this, you will find that there is always a very difficult situation for Africa. On 18th of February 2020, my letter still stands in history, that I wrote a letter to all African heads of state, warning them of these consequences. How prepared are they? How prepared are they to deliver Africa out of the quagmire? Africa needs help. Countries need help. We should not look at political power. I see you people in Kenya looking at political power versus that you are talking about, I will be the president in 2022. You might not be there. The nation cannot be there. You heal the nation first. Even if you are talking even about the elections, what do you know? What there are several waves. Another wave could come which is bigger. So we don't know. We should put a divine involvement, hope, and courage to outshine the difficulties. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure, Daktari, you've been keeping an eye on the Kenyan politics, for example. And one of the interesting things happening in Kenya right now is that with all that's been happening with COVID, there's this talk about BBI and how the wrong draft ended up in some counties, and how there's a possibility now that it might grind to a halt. Now, you have been a proponent of BBI for a long time, even in our discussions, and talking about healing, and of course talking about what you called the redemption strategy. Which way forward now for Kenya? What do you see?
Thank you very much, my dear brother. I want to tell you that I told you, and I'm always called I told you. You can even nickname me Mr. I told you. Didn't I tell you on that show? Previous shows, I've told you. I've told you, and I told you that there is one thing that you cannot do. I studied conflict resolution. I'm an expert. I'm called upon to discuss some things on conflict in areas in Colombia, in Uganda. I did the Uganda peace talks between the rebels and the government. I have a record there. I introduced some words that worked. Things like reconciliation, healing, reparation, restitution, forgiveness. Those words are the words why BBI came into existence. The moment you use political mechanisms, you come to a halt. And believe me now, I saw online yesterday. I saw online that it had come to a halt, something like that yesterday in the Sunday newspaper. I saw that they have come to a halt. The BBI has, look, you have people who did not want this BBI. And one of them was the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. I have nothing to worry. I have nothing that can threaten me about, because I will tell him as it is, whether here, whether in Kenya, in Britain, at AU, anywhere I will find him. I'll always tell him, you betrayed Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. You said you stabbed him by not supporting him on the question of uniting the country called Kenya. You discussed with him, you selected people to come on the BBI committee. But at night, you went back to stab them and disorganize the BBI. That one, I will say it. I have no qualms. I have no quarrel. I'm more
so
needed.
You think it's being sabotaged?
No, listen, I'm more needed.
Is it being sabotaged?
Than I need him. Yes, he did sabotage. You want to say you didn't see? He started saying,
it seems like there are those who are saying, Daktari, that that there are people who are, how do I put it, were unprepared when they were giving out the bill. That it maybe they made their own mistakes and would like to pass those mistakes to other people.
If I were the Kenya police investigating this, I would arrest Chebukati. Have you read your constitution very well? Where does the word verification, where is it found, Mr. Dave? I want to take you back to your constitution, Article 257, something like that. 254, 250, whatever. 250,
yeah, which talks about what?
I think article, I have it here, very straight. I want to see.
Yeah, it's always good when we can make reference. I think today you are.
Yes, I'm making a reference. No, I've got it. 255. Uh, 257. 256.
So while you're looking for it, because I think
no, the word verification,
yes,
lies with IEBC. It is the IEBC. Yes, 257. I was correct. I think you know that. My head does not go wrong. Article 257.
Yeah, that's very.
257. I've got your constitution here. Article 257, Section 4. The Electoral Boundaries Commission verifies one, signatures, any document, therefore, that lands in them. So did the IEBC verify that what they are delivering into the counties was the same? If not, home. If not, Chebukati and the entire committee should resign. That's all. The Kenyans must speak.
So you're saying they failed in their duty?
I am a friend of the people of Kenya. I like healing. I told you, people should have listened to me. And this morning, let people listen to me. The problem with Africans is they look at a white professor They don't want to look at a black man like me. Yet I am more knowledgeable than the white professor. Because we started with hardship. The white man speaks English. For me, Matsanga, my English, I have to study it. So when I come out with papers, and I come out and stand out in the world, speak against ICC, deliver it. I'm proud, man. I should be proud of myself, Levi. Who's going to say hallelujah to me? Until we reach God, I am proud. I stood in the middle and saved people in Kenya. Therefore, I have a right to speak about Kenya.
So what's the way forward on this one, Daktari?
The way forward is very clear, boss. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga push the BBI. Push the BBI.
How push now? And it looks like the tires have come off.
They are still on. Get Chebukati out. Chebukati is the man.
You do realize, Daktari, with what's happening?
No.
We are soon going to be facing the challenge of time, which no one can control. That every day when we are running out of time.
Are you the one who created the time? Are you the one who
that's an unfair question.
No.
But
are you the one who created the time?
No, but that's a
time. Do you know why it is called time? Why it is called time? Why is it? It is because it has a reason. If the reason is not correct, then you move. If the time is not correct for elections, you change. That's why it is called time. Did you create a time?
You move what? The election?
You can move, yes, the parliament is there. The supreme body of the parliament can extend the elections of the Republic of Kenya, depending on the conditions that are on the ground. It is better to extend than have violence out of a bad election.
I think there are those who would say that if that were to happen, Daktari.
Hello, quote me nicely before you ask me. It is better to extend the elections of Kenya than to have a violent election in 2022, August 2020. In August, have a violent.
Daktari, there are those who would say that would be an affront to democracy.
Does democracy allow you to go and die even when the lion is going to kill you? Because there is democracy in Kenya. You take yourself to Mara National Park and stand there and shout, democracy, democracy, I am democratic. The lion will spare you. Talk to me. Talk to me this morning. Go to Mara and tell people, shout, go with your nice Mercedes. These ones that you drive, especially you, around the town in Nairobi. Go with it, drive and stand there. I am Kenya democracy. Will the lion know what a democracy is? Necessity has no law. Jesus said, and the Bible said, if it's necessary to heal the lepers, don't you heal them? If it's necessary to go in the pit latrine on the Sabbath to pick your child who was dropped in the pit latrine in the Tarubo, in the Sungoi, don't you jump in? Don't you jump in? Tell me. Now you're telling me election.
I'll jump in regardless of the day, definitely.
Yes, you jump in and let the thing take you with your child, but rescue the child, isn't it? Necessity has no law.
Necessity has no law.
Another question.
You say. So then I guess for us in Kenya, we are pretty much in a wait and see, because if you know, this brings back the kind of talk that was there some years ago, that there were some people who were saying that they would have liked to see, like, the president not go home because, as I said, he's a young man, he still has a lot of energy in him, and things like that. This would bring back those kind of talk and those kind of ideas, that it would be then trying to you know, extend the lifetime of the current government within this electoral cycle in order to, achieve some lengthening of some regime through some possibly dubious methods. I mean, what would stop the next regime from doing the same thing? I mean, for example, look at just what has happened in Chad now, for example. That, you as a Pan-African gentleman, I know you have watched how Chad has gone. Idris Deby died, and then the military took over and suspended the constitution. Are those the kind of things we would like to see for Africa over and over again?
No. The situation in Africa, the Africa I want to see, is an Africa that lives with time, within time, and by time. Isn't it? With time, within time, by time. So if the time, no.
Dr. Let me just ask before you continue. What is wrong if today...
Wait. Yes.
If today you are the president of Uganda, for example, and you wanted to implement something like the BBI, and then you ran out of time, what is wrong with giving it over to the next person to now implement what you could not do? I mean, even King David of the Bible, you have quoted the Bible, he's not the one who built the temple. He allowed Solomon to go ahead and do so. If you have run out of time, you have run out of time. What do you think?
You have run out of time, but there is time does not, I've told you, time is the essence of political science. The bad timing can cause you more dangerous events. You can kill each other. You live in Taru. 2007, you yourself, you ran away from Taru because you looked like you were Ugandan, or somehow people looked at you, they thought you were either where. You were in Naivasha. You saw both places, because when I talk about there, some guys will come and say, I am targeting that. No, both areas. Look at what happened in Naivasha. Do you want that again in Kenya?
Absolutely.
Do you want that? No, do you want that in Kenya? Which president in Africa can leave his country knowing very well it is going to fall into a catastrophe with a caliphate of gentlemen who have sprung up?
Can I ask a question, Daktari? Is it a real possibility? Because there are those who say, look, we've learned from the lessons of 2007. None of us want to go back there, obviously. None of us is trying to, take each other's... People have even moved back to where they came from. Communities are living right now harmoniously. People are saying that those who keep on talking like this are simply scaremongering people with the thought that, this could happen again, so that they can achieve their own ends using scare tactics.
You tell me, my dear brother, I have never been a scaremonger. From 2008, I have stood on one side and watched my lips and never crossed me on that again. I've stood on my side, sir, and said I hate the International Criminal Court, period. Whether they take Museveni there tomorrow, despite what he has done against me, I will defend him. I don't like him, but I will defend him. I will defend him against the court. It is me. It's one single entity, Matsanga, against that court. And I've exposed that court to the point that you have seen, to the degree that you have seen even America and other big countries agreeing with me.
Yeah, but people are saying, Daktari, that we have learned from 2007. We surely have learned.
You are talking of having learned.
To exchange differences in opinion, we're not going to kill each other.
Who has learned? You.
We Kenyans, yes.
You have learned yourself. You have now returned to Turbo and settled. But the other people who have not returned, there are people living in boys' quarters in Nairobi when they have their farms. You drive towards Maraba, and you stand near Bantu Forest. You had a house there. Someone is sleeping there, and the smoke, and you are in a matatu going tonight to Maraba. Don't you feel like you should commit suicide? That's why BBI came handy. BBI said, let's address this problem. Among the 90 points is that problem. Healing process, reconciliation, reparations, restitution of the state, ethos, ethnic balancing, unity of purpose. That's what Uhuru Kenyatta is looking for. Forget these things. Forget this guy who's running. He wants, my friend, he wants to be a president at all costs, which might not be. He has to go slow. Yes.
Which guy is that?
You know him. You don't want to be sued on your TV. Everybody knows who the guy is in Kenya, who wants the presidency at all costs. My younger man at 52, called Ruto. Now I just want to tell you, because there's a difference of about 13 years with me. It means I was in school before he came to school. So I can always tell him, my younger man, I mean, that is, I'm going home, boss. I'm going home towards the Maker. But I want to live a better Africa. That's why I speak. Kenya is not my country. I can as well sit.
Yeah.
Don't you
but does
see
it concern you,
home?
Daktari?
Don't you see? No, boss. Let me ask you, mister. Don't you see my palatial home? I can even go outside and the Muzungu tells me, hello. I can enjoy it and forget about talking about Africa. But I want a better Africa.
Yeah, but does it concern you that in the quest for a better Africa, a lot is dependent on individuals? Like all our, I mean, we do things to either stop people, block people, support people that we like, make sure others that we like also stay in power. It's not so individualistic. Does it concern you that we are all about individuals?
No, I have no individual that I like. The only individuals that I hate are people who run for power when they don't know the consequences of finishing everybody before you reach the ladder. Raila Odinga has been running for power for many years, but he's not as hungry as somebody in Kenya. Yes, and that speed must stop. The international community is watching. A new prosecutor is coming, although there are so many hiccups in
Speaking of international community, let me ask you something. Yes. We watched the French go and actually give the current regime of Chad a thumbs up. The French president was at the funeral of the late Idriss Deby. He has endorsed the military government that has come in, that has thrown aside the constitution. And considering what that would be the international community's reaction, what does it say about the international community and their interests in Africa?
First of all, I just want to make it very categorical that you people in Africa don't listen. And you don't listen to men who have this, who are black. Please don't, this morning, let me come out clear. And don't stop me. I have been warning you about France. And I've been telling you, France is one of the worst countries in Europe when it comes to dealing with Africa. Look at what France has done. France has created a proxy war in East and Central Africa. There's a proxy war. Don't you see that proxy war? Don't you smell it? Don't you smell it? I know you don't like to hear the name Kagame, but for your reasons between your me, President Kagame is my friend. When we meet, he asks me how is exile. When he has some little money, he gives me some, but I don't beg. he stops and says, go and pay your bills. He knows what exile life is. I want to thank him. When I also come across Museveni and corner him properly, he said they did not pay you your money, but it's okay. Please. Some people, sharks, corrupt people, Matsanga, ate the money. He told me that in Addis Ababa. And that is the time I said, okay, Mr. President, it's okay. But can you tell me why the border between Uganda and Rwanda is still closed for 2 years? Can you tell me? Some of us who are doing business in Rwanda, we have ended up disposing of exactly everything we had.
What is the problem?
You are near the border than I am. You are near Tarbo. You can climb Elgon and go Kabuchora. Ask him, what's the problem? The two guys cannot meet. And the two guys keep on telling us African unit, African unit, African unit. The border is closed. Ugandans can't fly into Rwanda. Rwandese cannot fly into Uganda. For a Rwandese to fly to Uganda, he has to fly to Kenya, then pick a plane from Kenya into Entebbe. And if the passport is seen that your stamp, you are in Entebbe, when you return to Rwanda, you might not like it. So what type of life is this? That's point number one. Proxy war number one. Proxy war number two has already finished. Tanzania. You remember the people who started opposing President Pombe Magufuli? Who are they? What is their name? I don't want to pronounce that word. What is it? It starts with F. What is that country called what? The one you asked me, sir.
The one, which one? France?
Yes. The first people to oppose Magufuli was France, the French. They disagreed. They opposed him. They went and mobilized Europe to put embargo on Magufuli. I went to Tanzania myself. I met President Magufuli for 15 minutes with the late minister, Dr. Mahiga. I was warning him. This is 6 years ago. I was warning him there was a problem with these guys. They come, these guys, as Total Oil. But really, they are mercenaries, agents of DSGE. Ask me, I've studied European history. I know all of them. There is no agents in Europe that can defeat me to know, because I teach those whites which agencies what. So in a nutshell, Tanzania fell into the trap of the French. Uganda has fallen into the trap. They are there. Open the border, don't open the border. Oh my God. Let's go to Mozambique. Didn't I tell you there is a road in Tanzania being dug to nowhere? Have you seen a railway to nowhere? A road to nowhere. You Kenyans have got this railway called Suswa to nowhere.
Yeah, we have said that, yeah. Although now it has gone past Suswa, it's now at Naivasha.
Yes, it will go. We want Uhuru Kenyatta, Hongera, Hongera, Hongera. Send this railway. Let them complain, sir. But do a good job. Let it go to Malaba.
Speaking of which, let me ask you something, Daktari. Because you only have about 5 or 6 minutes. I noticed on...
Let me finish. Wait first. Let me finish for you quickly in a nut. There is a rebel group, Al-Shabaab, based in northern Mozambique, southern Tanzania. Yesterday, it threatened that they are going to grow across the border to attack and kill Mnangagwa. Did you hear that? Now, who planted this rebel group there? Who? Which companies, which oil companies are there? Namely, Total and Shell BP. There you are. Now, they promised him lull him with Mama Sululu and to sign an agreement. Then have you seen what they have done now? You have seen it yourself. Did you see it? They have withdrawn. There are no banks ready to fund the project. So you tell me, where is salvation, sir? Where's your salvation? I warned you, there's a proxy war. They removed the railway. They moved the pipeline from Lapset to Lodwa and Turkana to Masindi, Hoima, and Juba. So many forces in Africa worked against the Lapset, including the government in Khartoum of Bashir. There's somebody in Kenya who's linked to Bashir's government, whom I will name not here on TV. And I'm watching the rebel activities in South Sudan. Mark you, I'm one of the most polished rebels around that region. I don't want to tell you a lie. I forgot I was a rebel and I finished. I put peace brought, came back to Uganda. There will be no war in Uganda anymore. But there are regions where the war is going to take very dangerous proportions. South
and we'll
Sudan,
certainly keep an eye on that, Daktari. And let me ask, just as we come to a close, because this has also happened to you on social media. This particular week, the president was really heavily trolled. He was being trolled on Twitter, on all manner of social media accounts, on the basis of his weight. Did you see that?
which weight?
Did you see that though?
Don't you have weight?
Did you see it? I'm just asking you. Did you see it?
No, have you died? Because no. I have weight. I'm even very heavy.
I'm asking you, did you see the social media guys trolling the president?
Wait.
I want to just take your thoughts on what they did.
Boss, you and I are the same. Maybe you are more heavier than me because you are short. I'm tall. My weight cannot be seen.
Could be.
I was one of the smallest slender boys.
Yeah.
In the
but did you see them do that to the president?
No, in 1980s, when I was fighting all the way from Tanzania and other places, slender, handsome. Look, now I have become ugly. As a human being grows, things change. Weight can be reduced. I am training now. Look at me.
Yeah.
Very soon,
I'm just asking you that, Tari.
when I come to
No,
Nairobi,
I'm not justifying it. I'm asking you, did you
Nairobi,
see what they did to the president this week on social media?
They are not that naming and shaming a president, but the shaming a president is not worthy. And the people doing it are rooters, fools, surrogates, mujahidins.
We have no proof of that.
Yes, of Tanga group.
We have no
because
proof.
They are the ones. No, I have proof. Go to. Then why are you asking me? Didn't you see them? Did you see Matsanga insulting the president? Who was insulting the president? I came out to defend the president. Go and look at my posts. I damaged them. They ran away. Then they bring it on. In fact, I have more details on their head of Tanga group. If they damage the president, I'll damage him. Sindio mnataka namna hiyo, tutamalizana. You touch Uhuru, I touch Ruto. You will see. From now onwards, wasikie on this television. Don't insult the president and you think he has no friends. I'm his friend. He doesn't pay me. I am older than the president. He doesn't pay me. I have more children that can pay me and pay my life to write on the social media forever.
Yeah. And you have been told before,
Uhuru,
this kind of...
Yeah, if you insult Uhuru, be prepared that I will insult anybody.
Why are people so okay with body shaming people nowadays?
Body shaming people, what is wrong with if weight you are eating very well? For example, me, you saw my food last night? It's cooked. All tilapia all the way from Entebbe, not the one of Mujingo, but the Entebbe. It's the best food, granite sauce, very entura, matoke is best. When you go for medical check, you don't have any other disease. I don't have a disease. I don't have AIDS. I don't have what? I'm not saying having AIDS I should laugh at anybody. No. A disease comes when you don't know. But you should do all checks all the time. I don't have malaria. You make sure that you keep your body. Yes, this eating, you reduce the eating and the food and the starch. I have reduced starch. I have stopped drinking alcohol. And I think you should say hallelujah, thank you.
Congratulations. It's very impressive.
Yes. From last year.
That's quite a revelation.
Drinking.
Congratulations.
On my birthday, 22nd of October.
You stopped, Kabisa.
The following day, I stopped any alcohol coming near my mouth. Wow. Because I've drunk for almost 45 years. I've been drinking Pilsner when it started in Kenya. So am I not tired? I'm tired. Therefore, I stopped. Yeah. And that is all. And I'm looking after myself.
It's a very good place to end on and very encouraging.
Don't you see the way I'm body shamed? Have you seen what they write about me?
I have seen.
Guys? Yes, they say I'm an elephant, hippo, big stomach, what? But when I release only one on their head of Tanga, they cry the whole week. Let them know. You touch Uhuru, I will touch him.
I hear you. I hear you. What's your parting shot? What's your parting shot, Dr. as we close?
I have like a 10 to 20 dossier. Yeah. When I release them here, you can even vote, you can even run away and don't vote.
That's true. We've said many things, Dr. But as we close, what would you like to tell the Kenyans?
I would like to tell the Kenyans, and especially President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga, that you brought 9 points that actually affect Kenya. Your Excellencies, please don't give up. Don't lose hope. Go back to the drawing table. Produce those 9 points are the ones that make people fight. I know there are opponents like Dr. William Ruto who does not want peace, because when there's peace, people will select their own candidate they want. But when there is chaos, which he has caused by calling himself a hustler, yet he's very rich, and yet he can't even explain the word hustler to who in a class struggle, is very dangerous. So for me, I just want to appeal to President Uhuru Kenyatta this morning and Raila Amolo Odinga this morning. BBI is a healing process. Raila, listen to my lips. Is healing. It's not political. It's a healing process. You change it to a healing process. Get everything reform. Kenya cannot hold an election without reforms. If you hold an election without reforms, let me go and prepare the journey ahead.
I hear you, sir.
In the head.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having a chat with you, Daktari. Looking forward to having more discussions, and thank you for waking up really early in the morning to join with us today. Dr. David Matsanga, the Pan-African Forum Chairman, on the show 59 Minutes. I want to say God bless you.
By the way, I was taking cocoa.
You're taking
from
cocoa?
Ivory Coast. Cocoa.
Yeah.
Cocoa. What do you call it? Chocolate cocoa.
That's good stuff. Good stuff, Daktari.
This morning from Ivory Coast.
Good. God bless you. Good morning. And have a wonderful day.
Good morning, Africa.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.